Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. The cryptocurrency market cap trading above 200 billion, guys. 201.4 billion is the number approximately. We got Bitcoin here trading at 69.78, Ethereum 175, and XRP 0.186 cents. So just over 18 and a half. And you guys can see I've got XRP on the weekly up here, and you guys can see when you're looking at the trend, we're over the last few weeks, we have seen some upward momentum for XRP and other cryptocurrencies. Along with overall markets, we are seeing a bit of a decline this week, but it could be good for a correction. We got to look at the S&P 500, I think, because I think these guys are going to be correlated for longer than I think we all want them to be. Same kind of thing is happening here. We saw an upward trend over the last few weeks. Followed by a bit of a downturn. Now it's only midweek. We've got a few days left in the trading week. So we'll see what happens there. And Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin also showing the same kind of pattern over the weekly. And a lot of volume, a lot of green volume pushing Bitcoin up. This week here, the one we're currently in, some red volume, negative volume, but not a lot of sellers. So we could, in fact, see a trend going up. And of course, Bitcoin halving is happening very, very soon next month. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens there. Guys, I saw this from XRP Crypto Wolf. The Netherlands Central Bank is making a bid to become the European Union's first proving ground for a central bank digital currency. In a bulletin posted Tuesday, the bank said that the use of physical cash is clearly declining in the Netherlands, meaning that people are using less central bank issued money to buy things. A question that naturally springs to mind is whether central banks should provide a new type of money that is better attuned to the needs of citizens and firms. A CBDC could promote diversity in the payments market in addition to making cross-border payments more efficient, said the bank. Perhaps more importantly, it can help foster trust in the monetary system in times of uncertainty. And so this is a big headline banner kind of theme that we're all kind of experiencing around the world. The idea that we need to have faith in our banks. We need to have transparency. And so how does one get their people to believe in the system? Well, promote something digitalized that can be traced, that can be tracked. Of course, I'm sure there are more angles to this narrative than meets the public's eye. Nevertheless, it is certainly the way we're going, not only in the Netherlands, but around the world. The freedom to exchange commercial bank money for central bank money is essential to preserve because it helps maintain the essential trust that people have in the monetary system, argued the bank. That's why, despite the potential risks, the bank says it has a positive attitude towards CBDCs. So the Dutch Central Bank thinking that this is a good move for the Netherlands, and Deutsche Bank Securities Service Markets showing the Corda settler using XRP for possible digitizing assets. This from Matthew LINY here on Twitter, talking about Deutsche Bank and transitioning into the future of securities post-trade, DLT and digital assets path to smart custody solutions. He posts this infographic here showing how this is going to work. So we got crypto exchanges here in the center, the buy and sell activities. In figure C here, we have a smart contract that exchanges two different tokens. So they're talking about ERC tokens for some of this. But the Corda settler intermediary, settlement, and finality, we have the notary, the buy, the sell, the settler can settle in XRP or through the SWIFT system. So this just demonstrating that process, what DLT and digitized assets can mean. So of course, the user type frequent issuers, asset managers, investors, post-trade service providers. We've also got the objectives and can be met by, and then giving you an example of those things. Guys, I'll leave all this in the description of the video if you want to read further. The issuers, though, down here, I'll read this. Frequent issuers can use the platform's real-time advantage to quickly and cost-effectively raise debt capital, deliver greater transparency to their investor base, and ensure more precision in their funding and its investor management activities. So these platforms, obviously for asset owners, asset managers, investors, and issuers, the platforms offer strategic leverages to investigate new product creation, new funding precision, and new operational efficiencies. DLT is going to be the way of the future, folks. And this is just one example of how the Corda settler using XRP as a possibility could be used for digitizing so many different things. And the possibilities just seem to be endless here. So I got to thank Matthew LINY on Twitter for posting that. And guys, going along with the Corda settler theme here, did you know that of the 4 platforms, only R3's Corda was identified meeting NIST standards and therefore being able to be implemented in federal government projects? So this from XRP Crypto Wolf on Twitter. I thought this was interesting because there are clearly standards set out by the government officials, and what they can and cannot use based on this criteria is important to look at. So they looked at Ethereum, Fabric, Corda, and Multichain, and only one is government ready, says a new report. So the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, the IEEE, has co-published an assessment on how 4 blockchain platforms measure up against the rigorous security requirements of the US federal government, and according to the report, only one of the platforms has passed the test. While the IEEE isn't the decision maker for what the federal government adopts, it can have a view on what it is likely to do by assessing blockchain providers against the government's own vetting rules that are used to guide federal adoption and technology. So the Federal Information Security Management Act of 2002, FISMA, required that all new federal IT programs and modernization efforts using blockchain meet National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, cryptographic standards. If the technology doesn't meet them, then the federal government cannot use the technology. So it goes on to say, however, the ramifications to blockchain adoption are far broader than just being confined to the government, as businesses tend to follow the government's adoption of certain technologies. The reason why is because of the outsized role that the government plays in technology procurement. NIST is responsible for providing the information, and then it gives you the reasons why NIST needs to be responsible and why they have their standards. Guys, again, I will link this article in the description, but here's what they found out, okay? According to the report, the 4 platforms which fit the bill were Ethereum, implemented in a private configuration, Hyperledger Fabric, Corda, and Multichain. So these were then evaluated against the NIST framework, and of the 4 platforms, only R3's Corda was identified as meeting NIST standards and therefore being able to be implemented in federal government projects. A little bit about Corda. So it passed as it used the SHA-256 for transaction sealing, and SHA-256 is an acceptable hash algorithm according to NIST. So a little bit of the techie stuff for you guys. Java has many implementations of SHA-256, and there are NIST-approved libraries. Corda supports numerous digital signatures. RSA is supported with SHA-256 as the hashing algorithm. So it talks a little bit about algorithms, and the JavaScript, apparently, because Java is a little older and has some history with governments and the fact that governments don't want to necessarily jump on board with the latest technology all the time. It also passes with that criteria as well, just because it is more likely to be compatible. That I notice is one of the reasons why it passes as well. So we have down here blockchain, we have the hash, we have digital signatures, the PRNG validation, and as you guys can see, R3's Corda uses Java, and yes, it is valid here as per the NIST standards. So Corda's upper hand in government compliance is through a combination of using encryption protocols that are validated by NIST, as well as through implementing them in an established 25-year-old language that NIST is familiar with, namely Java, as I had just mentioned. So this is really great for R3's Corda settler. Guys, we know R3 can settle in XRP. This is why XRP hodlers love Corda so much. Guys, I'll link all this in the description. There's a lot to go through here. BlockCrypt also pointed this out. With regards to delivery versus payment through multiple rails, they have the Corda settler here, and it shows how it can go through interchange and then obviously through the payment rails, RippleNet being one of those delivery systems. So that's really interesting. Don't know where I don't know where he got this information from, although it is quite detailed and it does show how this process is going to work, also with regard to central banks and CBDCs. So he posts this, and the fact that the IMF here, right on the IMF's website, they post this idea of synthetic CBDCs and how they have a notable advantage relative to the full-fledged version from the previous presentation. So this goes on with regards to synthetic CBDCs, which from my understanding is a hybrid of government-issued and private technology to be able to transfer value. So thanks so much, BlockCrypt, for posting that. And of course, XRP Crypto Wolf on Twitter as well, always posting some great articles. And I know you guys saw this yesterday. So this, I first saw this article from Matthew Liny on Twitter. And so, I mean, so many people tweet at me every day and send me DMs and tag me in posts and do all these wonderful things. Guys, I'm just going to take this time quickly to let you know that I will always give you credit if I use your article in a post. And I know sometimes multiple people send me posts, so I make it a point to just use the one that I see first. I mean, I look at websites as well, And sometimes people will tag me in something or send me something that I have already independently researched, and I feel badly because I feel like, well, they did send it to me, so I'll just give them credit for it regardless of if even I found it first. In my opinion, the XRP community is about caring and sharing, so information should flow freely, but always give credit where credit is due. That is just my opinion. Anyway, didn't want to dwell on that too much, but I kind of went off on a bit of a rant there. This from Matthew LINY, and guess what, guys? Ripple is suing YouTube. This was all over Twitter yesterday. Ripple sues YouTube, and apparently there have been 2 updates. Since I originally had this tab open, when I opened it yesterday, it was brand new, but there have been 2 updates since then. So Ripple suing YouTube. Today we are taking legal action against YouTube to prompt an industry-wide behavior change and set the expectation of accountability, the company announced on its website, adding that YouTube and other big technology and social media platforms must be held accountable for not implementing sufficient processes for fighting scams. So this is about scams specifically. In particular, the fake XRP giveaways that we consistently see on YouTube and promoted through Twitter. So Ripple taking a step forward and actually filing a lawsuit in the United States Court, Northern District of California. Ripple claims that YouTube's deliberate and inexplicable failure to address a pervasive and injurious fraud occurring on its platform has resulted in millions of XRP, valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars, being taken from its victims of fraudulent XRP giveaways. It also states, though, that the exact number of defrauded people can't be known, but that the scope of the harm is vast. It adds that YouTube has the means to stop the scam, even highlighting its tools and abilities to identify and remove fraudulent content, but refuses to do so. So Ripple taking a hard stance on this. I don't know if it's because people who have been scammed have actually went to contact Ripple, and Ripple are getting a lot of emails and phone calls maybe saying, hey, I was supposed to get this XRP, but nobody ever sent it to me. But I know it does go beyond that. We have also seen fake profiles on Twitter claiming to be Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson, claiming to give away XRP. I have just kind of been ignoring those tweets and reporting them when I've seen them. The problem is a lot of these times they'll pretend to be YouTubers as well or other prominent people in the community, and they'll make fake Twitter profiles, and then they'll block you if you are the real person. So for example, a Working Money fake Twitter profile, they'll create one, they'll say I'm giving away this, that, and the other, and then they'll block me so that I can't actually see their profile. But then other people will tell me, oh, this is what's happening. And so they, of course, will report it, and the scam has just been continuing. So Ripple laying down the law and basically calling out YouTube and other social media platforms to do their part. This from Brad Garlinghouse. Across the industry, social media companies have failed to police their platforms from being abused by the entirely preventable imposter giveaway scams. Hundreds of people, including some of you, have been hurt, yet big tech continues to drag their feet. And they're saying that there's a lack of accountability. Victims are forced to jump through hoops to report these scams, and oftentimes that doesn't even work. Example, Instagram told me I wasn't being impersonated. So even Brad Garlinghouse not really getting a fair shake by some of these social media platforms. Instagram told Brad Garlinghouse, yes, the Brad Garlinghouse, that he was indeed a fake Brad Garlinghouse. So this is getting a bit ridiculous, and I'm glad that Ripple is doing something. Some of the community, though, is a little worried that this could be another excuse for YouTube to take down more cryptocurrency channels, ones that are obviously legitimate and that don't involve scams. And so they might tweak their algorithm, and we could see a bit of a rampage on YouTube. I sincerely hope we do not. But some people discussing that we could see some collateral damage through that. So guys, all I can say at this point is do keep your eye out for scams and report them whenever possible, even in the comments section. I know there are Telegram scams and people saying, oh, I made this kind of money trading Bitcoin and XRP or whatever, and call me through Telegram if you want to learn. And then they have several accounts that up-like their posts so that it kind of makes its way closer to the top of the comments section. And they're all scam accounts, so other people responding, yeah, so so-and-so helped me trade successfully. I made a lot of money from blah, 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 or whatever it is. And so, yeah, I try to report that to YouTube, although I don't feel like it's really been decreasing even after my reports, and I'm sure some of you guys reported as well. Nevertheless, thought it was a bold step for Ripple to take in order to combat some of these scams. This from Thomas Silkjar. So I just wanted to play you guys this. I thought this was kind of cool. 76 months of XRP account activation in 10 seconds, okay? And it's one of these time-lapse charts, and if you bring it to the beginning, January 2013, you guys can see down there. I'm just going to play it through, and so this is XRP account activation. You can see up here the number of accounts and as the months are going on, and this is just the activity that we are seeing. I'll play it one more time, why not? It's pretty short, going through 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and just look at that map just light up there. I'll go right to the end there, just to show you the beginning right to the end. So we're seeing a lot more activity in the space. The XRP ecosystem is growing, and this isn't even updated to 2020, but this is what we need in order for mass adoption to occur, and we are seeing it. We're seeing it happen right before our eyes. Thanks so much, Thomas, for posting this. And even just speaking in terms of cryptocurrency adoption, I saw this from CDL Crypto on Twitter, at CDL Crypto 1 on Twitter. Has anyone noticed this before? And I got to thank you for posting this because I thought this was really interesting here. So the crypto money to or dollar to crypto ratio now versus what it was in 2013. So dollar to crypto ratio in 2013 was 9,861 to 1. And now the dollar to crypto ratio is at 86.57 to 1, which means it has shrunk, which also means that there is now more cryptocurrency in the space than ever before. Obviously, this makes sense considering we are 7 years down the road and obviously more Bitcoin, for example, has been mined. But I don't think this only has to do with the numbers of actual cryptocurrency in the space. This has to do with the fact that there is now more cryptocurrency in the market. More people are trading crypto, more people are utilizing crypto, more people are hodling crypto than ever before, and we are just going to continue to see this space grow. This from the usdebtclock.org. I know you guys have seen that website before. Thought it was an interesting statistic, and gotta thank CDL Crypto 1 on Twitter again for posting that. Something else that I found interesting, and it was posted here by Ian Northing at Ian Bins on Twitter. The average years combined is 94 years. Well. This has to do with global reserve currencies since the year 1450. So it shows a graph here of global reserve currencies throughout the years, and we can see 80 years. So we had Portugal between 1450 and 1530, Spain holding the reserve for 110 years, 1530 to 1640, the Netherlands 80 years, 1640 to 1720, then we have France 95 years, 1720 to 1850, then Britain 105 years, 1815 to 1920, and the USA right now, 1921 to who knows when. And this again has to do with global reserve currencies and the fact that I know we've all been talking about in this space that there is a shift coming. And could it be China? Could it be something else that takes the reins after the USA's time is up? And just to put things into perspective here, 94 years is the average. So if we take, 80 years plus 110 plus 80 plus 95 plus 105 plus 94, okay, divide that by 6. We've got 94 years, which would bring us, in fact, not to the year 2020, which would bring us to the year 2015. So we're on year 99 right now. And if 94 years is the average, we are above the average amount of time that it has taken in the history, in the last 500 years or so, 600 years, to switch out global reserve currencies. Now, I know some of you guys like to ponder the idea that, governments have the ability to control the economy in certain ways. Now, there isn't just one overlord who is pushing a button and saying, crash the economy, release the virus, so on and so forth. But it is interesting to see that back in the year 2015, guys, when we look at the S&P 500 in 2015, we did see a flash crash here on the S&P 500, okay? We saw the market correct significantly before rebounding back up, making a double bottom, and then continuing to make its way up. Now it's the year 2020, and I feel like too many things have been culminating. The pot is boiling over, and I think it's about time that the world ushers in a new global reserve currency. Now, is it going to be a Chinese currency, for example? Or is it going to be a cryptocurrency, there's a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that it could be a cryptocurrency. Let me show you that. So many people here chiming in, one of which was MacAttack XRP. I'm going to get to this tweet in a second. And of course, some people here also thinking that it will be the Chinese yuan. We are not there yet, but the cracks are showing the Chinese yuan will not replace the USD. It will be something else. Maybe a combination of currencies, maybe something digital crypto, going to be a messy transition. Simpson XD mentions new SDR by IMF, and IMF holds XRP. So really interesting thoughts here. Also, this article from Cointelegraph, which was published only 15 hours ago, Bianco research CEO says next reserve currency will be, in fact, a cryptocurrency. So a crypto version of something. Will it be XRP? Will it be a CBDC? Guys, this from MacAttack, so brought this up and I thought this was interesting, guys. From the Bearable Guy Riddle, the most recent one that we saw, and also taking a page out of Bearable Guy's manifesto number 3. The plans that Ripple has for XRP are moving faster and faster, and I know you all see it. It's a shame that so many do not even know what is happening. We are at the forefront of a new age, and when the bear looks up at the beautiful golden sun and blue skies, he thanks God for this opportunity for people worldwide to take advantage of this chance to buy XRP. He circles the word may. May God bless you, all my friends. I wish you an incredible, wonderful Christmas and a fantastic new year. Guys, of course, this came out December 2019, and May 2020 is just around the corner. Are we at the precipice for something amazing to happen? And despite this collapsing economy, could we be further ahead than we even think? All I know is I'm keeping my eye on the prize. Anyways, guys, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.